So congrats to the Reggae Girls. They ended on top in the recently concluded CONCACAF Championships here in Jamaica, beating everyone along the way, beating Trinidad and Tobago, Bermuda, Antigua, Barbuda, and Cuba. And they now go on to the final round of qualifiers, and 3.5 teams will make it to the Women's World Cup. I say 3.5. 3 automatically qualify, and then the 4th team will play off against Argentina, and the winner there will go. And we're drawn alongside Canada, Costa Rica, and Cuba, which won't be easy, but truth be told, it's a really, really good group for us, because we're not in the group with the United States and with Mexico, and those are the top teams in the group here. So Panama, Trinidad and Tobago, United States, Mexico in one group, and then Jamaica, as I said, Canada, Costa Rica, and Cuba. We couldn't ask for a better group, even though it's not going to be easy. So congrats on what they've done so far, but we pray that they will make it to the World Cup for the first time. We haven't made it to the Olympic Games, but we've made the men under 17s twice. We've made men under 20. We've made the men's seniors. We've never made it to the Olympic Games, and there's a big push on for that one. And we've never made it to any other female World Cup tournament. So we pray and we hope and that the Jamaicans will make it. I actually think that they will go to the World Cup. I really and truly think they will.
So what do you say we have to do now?
We're in a group with Canada, Costa Rica, and Cuba. The top 2 from that group will go up against the top 2 from the other group, which is Panama, Trinidad and Tobago, USA, and Mexico. And then 3 from that 4 will go to the World Cup.
So they have
the 4th team will play off with Argentina.
Okay, and that's by points, depending on the next set of games.
So 2 different groups. But we have a great chance. It's probably the best chance we've ever had from the female side to make it to the World Cup.
Congrats, girls.
Yep, I pray that they...
So we just need the Reggae boys to step up next time around.
And there's a push for that also.
Yeah.
There's a new competition that starts in Jamaica next week, and there's a push for that also. I think we're on the up. We're on the up.
We're on the up. Okay, so that's on the up. Now we go to the down. But it's hot on the front page of the news, and so we need to give it to you, unfortunately. Coming out of, oh boy, we heard the horrible news about the girl that was found in the back of the car, chopped up. The father of that woman, Bishop Dr. Amos Campbell, who lost his 25-year-old daughter, as you can see there. May her soul rest in peace. He's a teacher in St. Elizabeth. He's been in the profession for 2 decades and heads the religious education department at the institution. He told the Jamaica Observer that he comfortably taught the subject of capital punishment for years, not believing that it should be revived. But his view has changed since the loss of his 25-year-old daughter. His view now is that individuals convicted of murder should serve their sentence and work in order for funds to be saved and allocated to affected families who may times have lost their breadwinners. However, that's what he believes, teaching the subject for years. Having heard about the violent past of the suspect in his daughter's murder, right, he believes now that some people may not be able to be rehabilitated, and the law may have to be exercised in a way that the authorities see fit. The accused in the case is Linton Stevenson, also known as Gary Stevenson, who is 59, a deacon at the Mandeville Seventh-day Adventist Church. He was on parole for killing his own wife in St. Mary and was wanted for assault and illegal possession of a firearm. He is now being sought, Linton Stevenson, 59, as a person of interest in this matter. The discussion we want to throw out there in the public, because it's hot on the press, is if capital punishment should be exercised for people who obviously seem like they can't be rehabilitated. Repeat, violent. I mean, and really and truly, we need to have this discussion because taxpayers' money holding people who can't be rehabilitated for certain things is a serious conversation that we have to have. Because capital punishment is still on our books, right?
Yeah, I think everyone knows my position on that. I don't believe in capital punishment. I don't think we have the right to decide who lives or who dies, even though someone took someone's life. But I've said this before, and sometimes we get up in arms because it hits us very close. You know, it hits us. And one of the founding fathers of the United States says, justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. Which means it doesn't have to be your neighbor or your family or someone in the community for you to get up in arms and say, this must stop. Whenever it happens, wherever it happens, to whom it may happen, we need to understand that we have to stop this. We have to stop this. So I don't know if capital punishment will. I'm not an expert, but I don't
put it this way, if you want to put the math together, if you have committed 3 violent crimes and charged, and it's obvious, beyond reasonable doubt, capital punishment will stop you from doing it again. Because you're not going there if you do it again.
Well, the other thing that's been proven, that they said it has not been a deterrent.
To crime.
To crime, capital punishment. But again, I just don't think we have that right to decide that that person should die or not die. I don't think.
And that's a moral belief. But we have to also say this. At some point, there has to be justice, and the justice system, and the police force, and the citizens of Jamaica. Because even if you think about how many children have been violently murdered already this year, there is a problem in our nation. There is a mental sickness, and it has to be addressed. And we need to look at the root of it, and we need to have some therapy, because we cannot act and operate with the rest of the world if we don't address our evil mental, spiritual issues.
And you kind of don't know who to trust, because this gentleman is a deacon at the Mandeville Seventh-day Adventist Church. It just gets worse. Anyway, we have to move on.
Let's go into this one now. All the rebels stand up.
Colin Kaepernick, who was the first person I noticed in sport to do that. Kneel during the national anthem, the United States national anthem, because he wanted to bring awareness to the fact that he thought police in the United States were killing black people, and they were not.
The injustice.
Yeah, they were. It shouldn't happen. So he did that. He was. Donald Trump said anyone who does that should be fired, and he hasn't been given another chance to play football. He sued the league for collusion. But then Nike brings him in their ad, and some people are saying, huh? But the question is, and they say some of the Nike stocks went down, but some people think that more people are buying into what Nike did than against it. And it says believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Just do it, is what Nike said. And some people are saying, well, Nike's going to get themselves in problems. But in some things they say that this kind of thing will work for folks.
Oh, yes.
You know? Nike knows what they're doing.
Nike knows what they're doing, and they know what they've been doing for a long time. And let us not run from a few obvious, some obvious observations. The African Negro black people in the United States are one of the major consumers of Nike. Let's just start there, right? The next thing is that Nike doesn't usually make political statements. But this is good and it means something. You have to stand for something. But this campaign has created a $43 million in buzz for Nike. The amount of airtime that it's had. And so that's a good thing for business. Some people are saying Just Burn It is the hashtag that trended on Twitter against this campaign. And guess what happened? They're burning the one Nike didn't buy. So Nike now lose money upon what they might burn. But anyway, this will work for Nike. This will work for Nike. And can we never forget Rosa Parks that stood up for something, and let's put him right there with that.
Come on.
Yeah, bringing attention. This is advocacy. And when there is injustice, you have to advocate. And how do you advocate? When you have the platform, you got to stand for something. Some of us are just existing. We don't have nothing we stand for. We're just a go and blow with the wind. Well, guess what? You wouldn't be here if people didn't fight for you to have freedom. So one, big up Colin Kaepernick. How you saying that? Kaepernick. All right. Kaepernick.
Let's move on. I wasn't here yesterday. This young lady's birthday was yesterday. Her name is Rihanna McLeish. She goes to St. Andrew High. And the greetings came from your mom, Camille, your dad, Devon, your grandpa, Sarge, who's my good friend, and the rest of the family. Hope you had a great day yesterday. You'll soon come up. There you go. Hope you had a wonderful day yesterday. And I wish you many, 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 many more.
Right.
Happy 26th anniversary to Michael Tulloh, who played for Jamaica, Mikey, and his wife, obviously. I hope you both have a great day. This is not the greatest picture in life, Mike. You never sent me a brilliant picture, but there they are. 26 years together. And I'll read, hold on, man. I'll read what he says. There you go. He says, I want to say thanks to a wonderful woman, Diane, for being such a wonderful partner over the years. And I'll always love you because you're a worthy woman and a great companion. He says, love you, my darling. And I'm sure she would want to say the same. So Diane and Mikey, have a great day today. And my first grandchild, believe it or not, is 23 years old today. His name is Trey Bell Haynes, and he plays professional basketball now in Germany. So proud of him. I hope you had a absolutely brilliant day.
I just want to say happy birthday greetings to my little cousin. Not my cousin, this is on behalf of Nishi and the rest of the family, to their cousin Moet Bar, aka Momo. They want you to know that they love you. Happy birthday to all the children born today, especially those in state care and children's home. Know that Television Jamaica, Smile Jamaica loves you. Auntie Empress and Uncle Neville lift you up today. Fly. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, folks. Have a great day.
We know the key to unity of all people is in the dream that you had so long ago that lives in all of the hearts of people. You believe in unity. We'll make the dream become a reality. I know we will, because our hearts tell us so.